Okay, I'm here with Rasmus Hojengaard, who is Director of Creative Development for Crytek, and we're talking to him today about Crysis 3. So I'm extremely excited about this game. The first two Crysis were excellent titles. What can you tell us that's new this time around?
Well, the setting is completely new. It's even though this is not the conscious idea necessarily, in essence it combines a little bit some of the values of the gameplay and the setting of Crysis 1 and some of the values of the gameplay and the settings of Crysis 2 and merges that and then takes it even further, because we are not adhered to the limitation of a realistic island and a realistic city, because now New York City is completely overgrown by this artificially grown rainforest that this nanodome, which encapsulates the whole city, has created over the last 20 years since Crysis 2 ended. And that is it's a great type of environment for the type of game Crysis is, because the dynamic range we have in both having a lot of verticality that you have in a city, but also having a lot of openness that you have in a jungle, gives us a huge dynamic range in gameplay and also a huge dynamic range in visual look and mood, which of course supports story as well as emotion, but also supports the gameplay very well. So that's new. You play as Prophet, which is new. Prophet as such is not new, but you playing him is new. He has had a vision of a really grim future with no humans in it and a lot of Ceph on Earth, and he will do everything he can, kill everything that stands in his way to make sure that that doesn't happen, all within this nanodome and this urban rainforest. He's been so infused with Ceph technology now over time that he's able to fire Ceph weapons. He comes with a really cool signature kind of composite compound bow, which is a little bit of a fancy Swiss Army knife of a weapon. You can equip it with a number of arrowheads, and one of them you can fire while you're cloaked. And it gives you a lot of versatility and also empowers the feeling of you being a hunter in this urban rainforest. And there's other like suit features like hacking and so on and so forth. So, but there's going to be more announced obviously as we go. There's still 9 months till the game ships. Right, so.
Obviously, the first two titles really pushed the envelope as far as looks and gameplay went. Well, was that a challenge? Was that a difficult part of the development process, trying to, wow people for the third time and really raise the bar? Because the game looks great.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that the ambition kind of comes from within. I mean, people just love doing amazing looking stuff at Crytek, right? And they're very talented, and we have very strong technological foundation to do this, and so it just kind of becomes a inevitable thing, and it's also in the DNA of Crytek to push both tech and visuals, so it gets the priority and the tender love of care that it needs in order to happen. And of course, there's a combination of where is the narrative going in the franchise and where do we want to take the story and the IP, and then you combine that with what would people like to do, and of course after you've done Crysis 1 and you've been doing jungle for a very long time, then maybe you want to do something else, and then you create an urban setting, and then maybe you want to do something else, but you might have liked both doing some of the urban stuff and some of the jungle stuff, so why not combine that? And it's not like it's that simple, but it's kind of the process in any case, right?
Can you tell us anything about any new enemies that might be in the game?
So there are going to be new Ceph types of enemies, but we only announced one of them so far. It was when we announced the game. It's this Scorcher, which is this quadruped that fires flames at you, and which fits both visually and the way it moves and certain style very well with this urban rainforest theme. I can't tell you any other ones. We will announce more. But an interesting thing is, compared to the previous games, there is a really kind of equal distribution between humans and aliens in the game, and the humans play a more obvious role. You understand more the motivations of Cell Industries and how sinister they are, and how they are just in a way as big a threat to humankind as the aliens are, which is something that resonates fairly well with contemporary issues in the world right now, right? So it's something that we think people will latch on to quite well. Yeah. So in the demo we are showing here, it's mostly human enemies. In the first announced trailer we put out, it was mostly Ceph enemies that we showed. So.
All right, well, yeah, my hands-on was great fun. I really enjoyed it. The game's looking great. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about it? Covered nearly everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it kind of feels like the pinnacle of the franchise. It's an end of a trilogy also, right? And And we really feel very passionately about the whole thing, how it comes together, also in terms of telling the story of Prophet and the suit and all this, but also in really having found this great footing in terms of the location, how the gameplay works in that location, and then also how it then plays into the strengths of Crytek in doing really strong visual things. So, I mean, everything's just coming together really nicely, which is also why we can showcase something that looks this fairly polished and detailed this early into the process. I mean, we're not even in alpha yet, right? So that is kind of like the manifestation of the process that just works really well. So yeah, we're hoping that people will enjoy it as much as the guys have enjoyed making the game.
It's moving on your position. Do not jeopardize the goddamn mission now.